Net worth is the number that actually matters, not your salary, not your credit score, not how impressive your car looks in the driveway. Net worth is the only number that tells you how free you actually are. And the gap between what most Americans think their net worth is and what it actually is, when you sit down and calculate it honestly, is one of the most uncomfortable financial realizations most people ever have. This video is going to walk you through every level of net worth from $0 to $1 million, not to make you feel bad about where you are, not to celebrate where you are going, but to show you what life actually looks and feels like at each level, what changes when you move from one to the next, and what the specific psychological and practical shifts are that happen at each threshold. Because net worth does not just change your bank statement. It changes how you sleep. It changes how you handle unexpected expenses. It changes how much leverage you have in your career, your relationships, your daily decisions. The number on the net worth calculation is not just a financial metric. It is a measure of how many options you have. And at every level from 0 to 1 million, the number of options you have is genuinely different in ways that most people only understand after they have lived through each one. Find your level. There is something in this video for every number you are sitting at right now. Negative net worth. This is where more Americans are than will ever admit it in conversation, and it deserves to be talked about honestly instead of avoided. Negative net worth means your debts exceed your assets. What you owe is larger than the sum of everything you own. Student loans larger than your savings. Car loan larger than the car's current value. Credit card balances with no offsetting. Assets. This is not a character flaw. It is a financial position, and it is reversible. The emotional reality at negative net worth is a specific kind of low-level dread that is hard to describe to someone who has not experienced it. Not panic, just a persistent awareness that if anything goes wrong, there is no buffer. There is nothing to sell. There is nothing to draw on. The safety net does not exist yet. Every unexpected bill has the potential to send you deeper into the red because there is no positive balance to absorb it. The practical reality is that at negative net worth, every financial decision has an extra layer of difficulty. Renting an apartment is harder because landlords check credit and financial stability. Negotiating salary is harder because you cannot comfortably walk away from a job that underpays you. Starting a business, taking a risk, making a bold career move, all of these require the kind of financial cushion that does not exist here. The most important thing about negative net worth is that the path out of it is a specific sequence, and that sequence matters. Minimum payments on everything is not the path. The debt avalanche, targeting the highest interest rate debt first, while maintaining minimums everywhere else, is the fastest mathematical route to zero. And zero is not just a number. It is the floor of freedom, the platform from which everything else can be built, $0 to $10,000. This is the range where the financial personality starts forming, and it is a more important range than most people give it credit for because the habits and decisions made here tend to persist all the way up. At 0, you are technically debt-free, or your assets match your debts exactly, and it is the first time most people experience the absence of that low-grade financial dread that accompanies negative net worth. There is a lightness to it that is easy to underestimate until you have felt it. At $1,000 net worth, the emergency fund is beginning, and the difference between $1,000 in savings and 0 is not the $1,000. It is the ability to handle a medium-sized unexpected expense without putting it on a credit card. At $5,000, the emergency fund is real, and the margin for error in monthly cash flow is meaningful. At $10,000, something shifts in how you relate to your job, your landlord, your circumstances. You are not yet free, but you are not completely trapped either. $10,000 means 3 to 4 months of a modest monthly expense budget if everything fell apart. It means you could walk away from a toxic situation if you had to. It means the pit in the stomach feeling that accompanies living with no financial cushion is gone, or at least significantly quieter. The journey from 0 to 10,000 is the hardest stretch per dollar of any segment on this list. Not because the math is hardest, but because the behavioral change required to accumulate the first 10,000, while also covering living expenses and resisting lifestyle inflation, is genuinely difficult. Every dollar of that first 10,000 is a dollar that could have gone somewhere easier. That is why most people never get past this level despite fully intending to. $10,000 to $100,000. This is the phase that feels the slowest and produces the most important behavioral foundations for everything that comes after it. At $20,000, the emergency fund is genuinely funded and the investment account can begin in earnest. At $50,000, you have cleared a threshold that fewer than half of American households ever reach, and you may not feel it because the number does not look dramatic against the cost of housing, cars, and everything else. But $50,000 in net worth means you have survived the period when most people fall backward. You did not get a car loan that wiped out the savings. You did not use the emergency fund for a vacation. You did not stop contributing to retirement when the budget got tight. $50,000 means you have made the right decisions repeatedly in the face of the many temptations and disruptions that derail most people at this phase. At $100,000, everything changes in a specific way. The math changes because compounding starts to visibly accelerate. At 7% annual return, a $100,000 portfolio grows by $7,000 in a year without a single additional contribution. $7,000 from doing nothing. That is not dramatic relative to housing or car costs, but it is the first time most people actually feel what compound interest is supposed to feel like. The psychological effect of watching the account grow without you actively feeding it is one of the most powerful behavioral anchors in personal finance. People who hit $100,000 and understand what the account is doing almost never go backward. The number becomes self-reinforcing in a way that smaller amounts do not. $100,000 to $250,000. This is where financial life starts to feel meaningfully different from the average American experience because you are no longer in the majority. Less than 30% of American households have a net worth above $100,000 excluding home equity. You are in a minority that does not talk about it at parties, but that shows up in how you relate to financial pressure differently than most people around you. At $150,000, the job negotiation calculus changes. You can walk away from a bad employment situation without catastrophic financial consequences. You can take 6 months to find the right next role instead of taking the first offer that appears. You can turn down a promotion that comes with excessive stress because you are not backed into a corner. The options open up not because you are rich, but because you have enough runway to make deliberate choices. At $200,000, the investment account has become a significant co-contributor to your financial progress. At 7% annual return, it is generating $14,000 a year in growth. That is real money making money in a way that starts to reduce the pressure on your earned income to do all the work. The psychological shift from living entirely paycheck dependent to having a meaningful non-labor income engine running alongside you is one of the most significant transitions in the wealth building journey. Most people who get here become very deliberate about protecting it and growing it further because they understand for the first time what the alternative actually cost them. $250,000 to $500,000. This is the range that I call quiet confidence, and the reason I call it that is because at this level, the financial anxiety that has been present in some form at every lower level essentially disappears. It does not go away because of a specific event or a specific account crossing a specific threshold. It goes away gradually as the net worth accumulates and the realized safety it provides becomes part of how you navigate life. At $300,000, you could handle almost any financial emergency, including a serious medical situation, a job loss lasting over a year, or a major housing repair, without touching your long-term investment accounts. At $400,000, your investment portfolio at 7%. Annual return is generating $28,000 per year in growth. That is more than many Americans earn from working. The income from capital has become a meaningful number relative to earned income. Career decisions shift again at this level. You can negotiate aggressively because you can afford to walk. You can start a business with genuine runway. You can take time away to care for a family member or recover from burnout without it being a financial catastrophe. The options are not unlimited, but they are dramatically greater than at any previous level. At this point in the journey, most people have also developed a very specific relationship with consumption, not frugality in the deprivation sense, more like a clear-eyed awareness of the trade-off between current spending and future optionality. You do not feel deprived by not buying the expensive truck. You understand precisely what the expensive truck costs in terms of the freedom you are building. That clarity changes how spending decisions feel. $500,000 to $1 million. This is the range that most people consider the end game of the wealth building journey, but which is better understood as the beginning of genuine financial independence rather than the end of anything. At $500,000, your portfolio generates approximately $35,000 per year in growth at average market returns. For many households, that is enough to cover a meaningful portion of basic living expenses without touching the principal. At $750,000, you are covering more than half the average American household annual expense from investment growth alone. The relationship with your earned income starts to shift from primary resource to supplemental resource, which is a psychological transition that changes everything about how you experience your job and your career. You are no longer financially required to be there. You choose to be there. At $1 million, the portfolio, at 4% withdrawal rate, which is the standard safe withdrawal estimate for long-term sustainability, generates $40,000 per year in sustainable income without depleting the principal over a 30-year horizon. $40,000 is not a lavish income, depending on where you live and what your lifestyle looks like, but it is the first real taste of what it means to have money that generates enough income to partially or fully replace the requirement to trade time for money. The journey from $500,000 to $1 million is faster than any previous segment because the compounding is working at its most powerful scale. At 7%, average annual return of $500,000 portfolio adds $35,000 in year one and grows from there. The math is doing more work than the contributions at this point, which is exactly what the journey was always building toward. Every level of net worth on this list represents a different relationship with freedom. At negative net worth, freedom is almost entirely absent. At 0, it arrives in its smallest form. At 10,000, it becomes real enough to feel. At 100,000, it starts working for you without you. At 250,000, it quiets the anxiety. At 500,000, it changes how you experience your career. At 1 million, it changes what your options are for the rest of your life. The number on the net worth calculation is not about showing off or winning a comparison. It is about how many real choices you have on the days when choices matter most. Most Americans never calculate their net worth, not because they do not care about it, but because the number might be uncomfortable, and the process of facing it requires looking at everything honestly at once. I want you to do it today. Add up everything you own. Subtract everything you owe. Write down the number, not because the number is the point, but because you cannot navigate toward a destination you have never looked at on a map. Find your level, then find the next one. Subscribe to Nick Finance, because the gap between each level is smaller than most people think, and the steps between them are more practical than most financial content ever shows you.